keeping students engaged during the teacher strike.
Oh, the kids are always looking for something to keep them entertained.
TELUS Spark pivots to quickly offer educational camps.
These are designed to be curricular-connected learning experiences.
Plus, he bought an urban investment property, and then the rules were changed.
The condo board could have done a better job on trying to find a solution.
No more short-term rentals after full-time residents complained.
There's been a lot of craziness going on.
And getting your spook on this Halloween.
Well, there's another type of character that comes out at nighttime.
Who's lurking after the sun goes down at Heritage Park?
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. It is a lovely fall day heading into the Thanksgiving weekend. A lot of people spent some time outside today. A warm breeze from the south made conditions perfect for a sail on the Glenmore Reservoir or even just a stroll along the water. We know what's around the corner though. A drastic change to colder and wetter conditions is expected this weekend. Let's get straight to Danielle. There's actually a snowfall warning in place in areas west of Calgary.
Right, and it's hard to believe considering the work week that we've had, the weather so far. It's been stunning, and today we got close to that 20-degree mark in the city of Calgary. The winds are picking up, but this is out of the right direction, as Tara's mentioned, out of mainly the south. So this is still that warmer wind. It's tomorrow that we're in for quite a big change. 18 degrees is the temperature at the airport right now. As you can see, blue sky, a little bit of a breeze, but here we go. Okay, Banff, Canmore, Kananaskis. That's where we have the snowfall warning in place, up to 20 centimeters possible in some localized areas there. Calgary is not under a watch or a warning or a statement, but many communities along the mountains are under a statement as well, and up to 10 centimeters is possible. For us in the city, we're looking at a couple centimeters. Most of that will be falling overnight tomorrow night. You'll notice a big turn at noon tomorrow. We'll get up to a high of 16. That'll be at noon. Then the clouds will roll in, the winds will kick out of the north, and that rain will switch over to wet snow tomorrow night for us in the city. I'll talk more about this in just a little bit, Tara.
Sounds good, Danielle. Thank you. The province and the Teachers Association are scheduled to start bargaining again after the long weekend, but schools are still expected to remain closed for days. While families figure out alternatives, Alberta is offering more support for some of them. Alicia Fieldberg joins us from TELUS Spark tonight. And Alicia, the province is increasing funding for families caring for children with special needs.
Tara, if you have an active family support for children with disabilities agreement, you could get $30 a day for children 12 and under and $60 a day for kids 13 and up. That's on top of the $30 per day per child the province is offering families. Now, negotiations are expected to begin on Tuesday, and if a negotiated agreement is reached next week, it could take a few more days because teachers would then need to review it and then vote on it, and in the past that's taken about 5 days. So that's why families are looking at their options at places like this for childcare and learning next week.
With experiments, worksheets, and hands-on learning, education camps at TELUS Spark look a lot like school, but they're only a placeholder for the real thing.
These Spark Ed camps are curricular connected to their science curriculum, so they're designed to enhance what they would be learning in the classroom.
With no agreement between the province and Teachers Association, 700,000 Alberta public and separate school students have to find other ways to learn.
Mainly I've been staying home and just working on schoolwork, but it is a little difficult to stay on track.
Many organizations are offering school disruption camps to help.
It's a bit of a all over the city tour as we find camps that work and that are available and that still have space. A lot of the camps that popped up were for 10 and under, but TELUS Spark had options for kids up to 12.
The chance to meet new friends and explore a new environment can be fun.
I like how we could do experiments with the things that we learn.
But it also requires extra time and money from families, and many people are hoping it doesn't last long.
We 100% support the teachers. We want to see classrooms and education that is meaningful, empowering, and provides the right resources. So, we're here for the long haul, but it's certainly a disruption to our lives.
Bargaining talks are set to start again Tuesday.
I want a good resolution for our students here in Alberta.
I hope that the classrooms can get a little smaller because like last year I had 32 kids in my class and it was way too big and loud. I just hope it ends soon because it is much harder to learn at home than it is at school.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, if an agreement is not reached, the provincial government could order teachers back to work. That would likely mean no extracurricular activities, though, including field trips. They've been walking the picket line for weeks after being locked out by their employer, but now Sobeys warehouse workers near Balzac say their safety is at risk. Following the lockout in mid-September, 250 Teamsters union members went on strike. Sobeys distribution center in Rocky View County provides goods to grocery and convenience stores across central and southern Alberta. The union says it's not just working hard to try and reach an agreement with the company. Now it must address safety concerns on the picket line. Strike protocols allow members to stop vehicles and delivery trucks coming in and out of the property for minutes at a time. But Teamsters say some drivers have tried several times to break through that line.
We've had members who've actually been hit by trucks. We had an incident last week where there was literally a driver who got out, he spat on one of our members, and the security just stood there and they filmed it, and they didn't intervene or do anything like that. They just let it happen.
Teamsters is seeking more competitive wages and a resolution of non-monetary amendments to the collective agreement. It's also calling on the public to boycott any stores owned by Sobeys' parent company Empire until a contract is ratified. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he is not ruling out a new pipeline from Alberta to the BC coast. This comes as the federal government works toward its next batch of major projects. Today in Ottawa, Carney spoke about a pipeline being one of those projects.
We believe, this government believes in nation-building projects, which can, in both clean and conventional energy. Those projects have several characteristics. Material economic benefits, linking together different parts of our economy, consistency with our climate objectives, and benefits and participation for Indigenous peoples. So those elements coming together can come together in a pipeline to the West Coast.
In recent weeks, Alberta Premier Daniel Smith and BC Premier David Eby have been publicly at odds over Alberta's proposal to be the initial proponent of a pipeline going from Alberta to the BC coast. Earlier this month, Smith said her government would commit $14 million to fund initial planning stages of a pipeline. Alberta gained more jobs last month than any other province. Employment increased by 43,000 jobs, a 1.7% jump from August. It could be a sign of progress within the provincial economy, but unemployment still remains above the national average. Tyson Fedor reports.
Stats Canada says employment rose by 60,000 jobs. It's the first time for an increase since June, including in Alberta.
We had the largest employment spike Alberta's ever seen outside the pandemic period.
The unemployment rate in Alberta is 7.8%, down from 8.4% in August. It remains above the national average of 7.1%. In Calgary, that number is above 8%. Edmonton sits at 8.7%.
The job numbers are highly volatile month to month, so you have to look at the longer-term trend. And that trend is suggesting that Alberta is still outpacing the rest of the country in job growth.
17-year-old Elena Terra has felt the pinch when trying to apply for part-time jobs.
It's pretty hard because everyone wants a lot of experience, and I don't really have experience because it would be my first job. So, yeah, it's hard to find those connections mostly.
But job growth in Alberta led the way. The gains more than offset declines recorded in July and August.
We are a low-tax jurisdiction. We have a very skilled workforce. The government is investing directly in developing that workforce to increase productivity.
Economists say the higher unemployment rate is because job creation is not keeping up with the population boom that Alberta is seeing. The largest job gains were in manufacturing and agriculture, something the province says it is encouraged by.
We see new investment coming here all the time, especially even yesterday. Polycar just announced a $20 million expansion of their facilities here in Alberta. That's going to double production. And going back just a couple of weeks and months, you look at Lufthansa Technik has announced an engine manufacturing and repair facility in Calgary.
And Tyson joins us now. So Tyson, what is Calgary Economic Development saying about these latest numbers?
Well, Tara, the CED says that these numbers from September signal cautious hiring among that trade uncertainty with the U.S. due to the tariffs and the threats from the U.S. at this time. The CED saying that the unemployment here in Alberta and in Calgary being up, that's just a sign a national trend is happening, that job creation is just not matching up with population booms, especially here in our city. And of course, the CED saying that here in Calgary, it continues to be a hotbed for many people coming here. But of course, those jobs just are not keeping up. Tara?
Okay, Tyson, thank you. The idea of running an Airbnb or a VRBO as an investment opportunity may have been attractive a few years ago. However, Calgary condo boards have started to ban short-term rentals. And for investors, that leaves them in a dilemma with a possible loss. Here's Tyler Barrow.
What seemed like a great investment as a short-term rental 2 years ago has landed this inner-city condo owner with a dilemma.
Currently, I'm looking at renting it as a furnished unit or trying to sell it.
Max Ladder is facing those two options after unit owners in the Guardian South Tower voted to ban rentals of 30 days or less effective November 1st. The decision was sparked after a man fell to his death from a balcony here in June. Police deemed it not suspicious. Residents reported hearing partying at the time.
The condo board could have done a better job on trying to find a solution that's not just outright banning, because, of course, it affects a lot of people's investments.
Tony Breshew lives in the North Tower, which previously banned short-term rentals. He spends time at a friend's place in the South Tower and understands long-term residents' frustration, especially during the Stampede.
Stampede time, there's lots of people here, so with the parties, you can't really avoid it because, you know, Airbnb, it comes.
For frequent short-term rental guests, it's upsetting to hear this building is no longer an option.
We already said we love it so much that it's going to be our go-to, like every time we visit.
But not apparently not now.
Realtors are seeing more and more of this.
The boards are noticing there's quite a bit of liability issues regarding the Airbnb with people going in and out.
And selling those investment properties might be tough. Apartments stayed on the market for 52 days in September. According to the Calgary Real Estate Board, nearly double compared to 2023. While the benchmark price for an apartment is up from 2023, but down compared to last year.
This is something we haven't had for a long time. Now it's turned into a buyer's market.
While the rental market isn't as dire either, as the vacancy rate has climbed over 4%.
If I had to do it again, I would probably look to do it in a house or even outside the city.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Airbnb did weigh in, saying while we require hosts to follow rules set in place, we encourage parties to resolve private disputes directly with each other.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Some of Alberta's elite young gymnasts were getting a behind-the-scenes look at some of the best acrobats in the world today. Cirque du Soleil hosted about 24 teenage gymnasts under the big top. The young gymnasts were even getting a chance to try some flying maneuvers and some of the routines with the team. The gymnasts, who are used to competing for scores, say they loved getting a taste of the acrobatic moves.
It's super exciting to just kind of, see how everybody works as a team together in a kind of culture that's a little bit more team focused and less individual. And I'm super excited to kind of see what I learn and how everything works.
It's a great opportunity for the students to see the background of what we do from an acrobatic standpoint, but also they get to see the wardrobe, the physio department, the acrobatics, and what we do on a daily basis.
There's still time to check out the Cirque du Soleil show Echo at Stampede Park. The final show is October 19th. Still to come, fulfilling a promise with new government pledges. Mark Carney confronts the affordability crisis for families ahead of next month's budget. And a massive explosion at a manufacturing plant in Tennessee. Almost 20 people still unaccounted for. We all know politics is messy, but some candidates say this civic election has been downright dirty. They're being faced with sexism, bigotry, racism, and harassment, but they are determined to keep running. Stephanie Thomas reports.
Reet Mushiana is the only woman running in Ward 5. Her sign was vandalized in the summer. While door knocking, she says she's been asked why her husband isn't running instead of her.
Just facing that based off of my gender is difficult, but I'm also able to connect now with the females, with the women, the daughters, the sisters, and I realize how impactful and how much of a change is actually needed.
Incivility seems to be rampant during this municipal election cycle. Mayoral candidate and sitting councillor Sonia Sharp called out a heckler at a recent Chamber of Commerce debate. So did moderator and Chamber CEO Deborah Yedlin.
I'm sorry, is that rude?
That's rude.
That's rude.
Ward 10 candidate Tarlochan Singh Sidhu says his volunteers have been threatened in person, and online comments amount to racism. In Ward 9, Gargar says political opponents have behaved with incivility at public events just because they don't support him.
So it's looking into those things of how you collaborate and unite more than what divides people. And that's what's the message that I keep hoping, fighting for.
In the same ward, Ariana Kipper says she's not swayed by the negativity, despite 2 open police files and hiring extra security for some events.
Even if there are threats against me, I know that it is a result of something else, and to keep pushing forward.
Heather McRae is also the lone woman candidate running in the Ward 7 race, and sometimes is asked if she's as qualified as a man. Still, McRae says female voters face unique issues.
We know that women live longer, they are lower income earners, and they are nervous about what the future holds.
Political watchers say public hostilities demonstrates the ills from social media spilling out into real life, and calling it out is necessary.
It's got to be incredibly discouraging, and the reality is it does discourage some candidates. All of them can stand together and say, we don't endorse this, we do not want this, this does not help us.
All candidates interviewed by CTV News say they are dedicated to running for public office until the bitter end.
And Stephanie joins us now. So Stephanie, is this incivility affecting the number of candidates putting their name forward?
Tara, it would be speculation for me to say that because of increased hostility or dirty politics, that's why there are fewer candidates putting their names forward. But there just are fewer people who are running in this upcoming election. Now, this year, there are 126 candidates for mayor, council, and school board trustee. But 4 years ago, there were 180 candidates. Tara.
Big difference. Okay, Stephanie, thank you. Calgary's advance vote numbers continue to lag behind the last municipal election. 14,500 people cast their ballot yesterday. That's 5,500 fewer than in 2021. Tomorrow is the last day to vote in advance. Polling stations will be open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Election day is October 20th. After a week of intense pressure to make progress on some hard files like trade and energy, Prime Minister Mark Carney unveiled a trio of small measures meant to lower costs and make tax filing easier. This announcement includes some recent campaign pledges and one long overdue Liberal promise. And it all comes just a few weeks before he unveils his first ever budget. Rachel Aiello reports.
Today, the Prime Minister took a long-promised step towards ensuring all Canadians are fully covered under this country's social safety net. Starting next year, the Canada Revenue Agency will automatically file taxes for low-income individuals.
This program will pay out hundreds of millions of dollars in benefits in the next few years that would otherwise be left unclaimed.
The Liberals are also making a pilot program that provides food to schools nationwide permanent, and are renewing the Canada Strong Pass, making museums, parks, and train tickets cheaper for a month over the December holidays and again for summer 2026.
Since no one can possibly experience all that Canada has to offer in just a few short months.
The announcement, the start of a political communication strategy.
Today was a preview of some of the things we're going to see in the next federal budget.
There's going to be more good news, trust me.
That was exactly my question.
Trust me.
But not all see it as good news.
They're printing cash to pay for their out-of-control spending.
Today, the government couldn't say why the years-old Liberal promise to make tax filing easier hadn't been acted on sooner, or why it'll take until 2028 to fully implement it.
I mean, we can talk all day about why something didn't happen in 2023 or 24 or 22, what have you, but I know certainly moving forward in this budget, 25, 26, 27, we have ambitious goals.
The Prime Minister said these measures will be considered operational rather than capital expenditures, a new distinction this government intends to make in its budgets. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
And the Carney government will present its budget on November 4th. The federal government also announced it's extending the Canada Strong Pass. The program means free admission for all visitors to national parks and historic sites. There's also a 25% discount on camping fees at national parks, and children, when accompanied by an adult, can ride for free on Via Rail. The cost savings will be in effect for the holiday season between December 12th and January 15th, and for the whole summer of 2026.
This is CTV News Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in now as we look ahead to our weekend, which takes a turn all of a sudden tomorrow.
It does. And, you know, while I don't always love the weather forecast that I'm presenting to you, I want to make sure you're prepared for this Thanksgiving long weekend. It's going to be on the chilly side. Yep, absolutely. Wet snow in the forecast. Okay, it's 16 right now in the city. Outside of the city, Brooks and Lethbridge still holding on to the 20s, and Medicine Hat is sitting at 23. So we had a toasty day today like expected, and we got the sunshine too. In fact, this entire work week has been pretty stunning. There's nothing going on right now to speak of, but you can see what's on the way. This is a huge upper level trough that's going to move on in, so it will take a little bit of time. We may not really have this kick in until about noon tomorrow in the city, and then we'll certainly notice that change. So I'm going to play this through. Again, this evening is fine, tonight's fine, and then in the morning we'll likely get some sunshine out there in the morning hours. Calgary down to Lethbridge, off to the east as well, and then by about 2 in the afternoon, that's when we get into the chance of showers. They should really start to kick in around 3:30 in the afternoon, and then this switches over to wet snow just after the supper hours tomorrow. Now in Calgary, the timing for our snow is really from 7 p.m., maybe 8 p.m. until early Sunday morning. So if you go to sleep early, you may not actually see the snow falling. You may see a little bit that accumulated in the grass. It should melt on contact with on the ground, on those roads and on the sidewalk because the ground is so warm. But here's where we're looking at more consistent snowfall, right along the mountains. And that will last a lot longer there, which is why there are snowfall warnings and statements in place. So basically to the west of Lethbridge, in the gray here, this is the statement. Calgary is not under any sort of statement or warning. So in these areas, some localized spots could get up to 10 centimeters. In the snowfall warning areas, Banff, Canmore, all of Kananaskis, some localized areas there could get up to 20 centimeters. But here's your most likely scenario. About 1 to 2 centimeters along Highway 2. And then off to the west, Canmore could get about 20 centimeters. Banff could get up to that as well. And a little lower, closer to the Pincher Creek, Crow's Nest Pass area, around 5 to 7 centimeters. All right, here's your action furnace 5-day forecast. Again, we'll get up to 16 degrees. That'll be at the noon hour is when we'll see our high, and then we'll start dropping fast temperature-wise. So the rain in the afternoon will switch over to wet snow after the supper hours. That will carry into early Sunday morning. Then that will start to clear out, but what won't clear out is the cold weather. That's here to stay for Sunday and Monday with daytime highs at that freezing mark. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. In Tennessee, 19 people are missing after a huge blast at an explosives plant. Authorities say there are fatalities. The blast occurred today about 80 kilometers southwest of Nashville. There's no further danger of explosions, and the scene was under control by this afternoon. The company processes explosives and ammunitions for the military. The cause of the explosion is not yet known. The city of Lethbridge is sharing video of a fire in its waste and recycling center. The cause was batteries that someone threw out in their curbside waste cart. The automatic sprinkler system luckily kicked in and kept things under control until the fire crews could get there. It is a good reminder for everyone to make sure you drop off your old batteries at designated hazardous waste sites, eco centers, or stores. Sometimes we'll take them instead of throwing them into the trash. Charges have now been laid after a hate-motivated assault that happened in the summer. Police say a man and a woman were waiting at a marked crosswalk on Southland Drive Southwest on June 24th. An unknown man approached and struck the other man. He was heard shouting a racial comment as he took off. The suspect later turned himself in connection to a separate hate-motivated assault downtown. Just ahead on CTV News, an Alberta man's desperate search for relief from excruciating pain.
I couldn't wait. I was just like, I was losing it.
Why he flew across the Atlantic for hip surgery instead of finding relief at home. And later, fun for kids during the day, spooky for adults at night. We're going on a ghost walk at Heritage Park. An Alberta man is walking with less pain, but it took a trip across the Atlantic to make that happen. Instead of waiting for hip surgery here in Canada, he flew to Lithuania for the procedure. Now, CTV's Kathy Lee explains, as surgery wait times at home drag on, Canadians are looking abroad for relief.
Each step a revelation for Gary Garby. The pain that once consumed him,
It was excruciating. I was bedridden for the most part.
Now becoming a dull memory thanks to surgery on his hip.
It started off as mild osteoarthritis. From there to severe, to the bones were grinding, to the ball collapsing and fracturing.
But relief wasn't found in a Canadian hospital. The 64-year-old flew to Lithuania for the procedure because the wait time at home could have been a year or two.
I couldn't wait. I was just I was losing it.
We would have sold things if we needed to in order to go and get this done. It was at that point. The surgery alone was $16,000.
But that price tag still cheaper than a private clinic back home. Some places almost double. Garby's surgery was facilitated by Med Travel Solutions. It says 95% of patients are from Canada, and they try to schedule everything within 6 weeks.
This is a growing phenomenon. The Canadian healthcare system is letting patients down, so they're giving up and going elsewhere. They don't want to wait.
In a statement, the province says there is more work to do to reduce wait times across our healthcare system, but that Alberta continues to perform better than the national average in surgical wait times in 4 areas: hip replacement, hip fracture repair, knee replacement, and radiation therapy. Still, for Garby, the system failed him.
It's hard to comprehend that you'd have to travel that far to something that like this severity in order to remedy it.
But now the focus is on the future. With each day, he feels closer to reclaiming the life
Things are just going to get better from here on in.
he thought he had lost. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Strathmore, Alberta.
Well, still to come, it is the flavor of the season. Just imagine how many pies and spice lattes you'd get out of this gargantuan gourd. The specs on this record breaker next. As it gets colder, darker, earlier, and plants are shriveling and decaying, ghost tours offer the chance to embrace the spooky season and learn a little local history. Tonight, we have a glimpse of what goes bump in the night at Heritage Park.
On a crisp fall night, after-hours tours of this historical village let guests step back in time and uncover a darker side of the past.
Why not learn more about the history of Calgary and maybe get a little spooked?
I definitely grew up coming here as well, and we were always told that the Prince House is haunted.
She's often said to be sitting in the nursery, holding a baby, facing away from the guests.
Black-cloaked guides lead guests in and around historic buildings, sharing mysterious tales about our ancestors and more recent encounters.
A lot of the stories in those homes involve somebody hearing or seeing something, or in some cases even feeling something.
Even members of this tour saw things they couldn't really explain.
While I was taking the picture, nobody was shining their light or anything on that wall. It was...
And there's a light.
Come on in.
Exploring the park after dark provides a whole new experience, even for the staff who know it well.
On one of my previous ghost tours, as I was locking up the house, I called in saying goodnight, at which point I heard the stairs creak quickly as if someone were coming down them. And I've never heard them creak unless someone was actively on them. I think I locked that place quicker than I ever have.
Stories and settings satisfying, even for those who don't encounter anything mysterious.
To listen and be part of those stories and in a group and at this time of night, whether you believe in them or not, I think there can be a lot of fun to be had anyway.
And take 2 steps through the upstairs.
Okay, hold on, I'm at the back of the room. I'd like to start.
Plus, there's always the chance your spooky encounter may come later.
I'm going to look back at my photos that I took, and perhaps something will appear there that I didn't see.
We both somewhat do and don't believe, or maybe we want to believe or don't want to believe, but there's this like macabre fascination with it.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Heritage Park's fall ghost tours are now sold out, but they are offering some other spooky experiences this month, and the park also does evening ghost tours in the spring. Do you guys like to be scared?
No.
Yes, I'm very.
I don't mind. I've done ghost walks before. They can be pretty fun. Scary, but fun. Well, an adorable newborn hippo calf has been born, and it is stealing all the attention at the Berlin Zoo.
Oh, no.
So
is that real?
Yes, this little guy was born just at the end of September a few weeks ago. He's a little underweight for a newborn, 28 kilos. He should be closer to 40. So zoo staff say it's important to get him to eat up, but what he's lacking in weight, he is making up for in cuteness.
Well, he's cute now.
Isn't he, though? He just spends his whole day snuggled up to his mom.
Oh, he's cute later on, but he's cute now.
Adorable. In England, a prize pumpkin has recently squashed a pair of world records. Whoa, wait for it. Twin brothers Stuart and Ian Payton have broken 2 world records for both the world's largest and heaviest pumpkin. Their giant gourd weighs in at 2,819 pounds. That's almost 1,300 kilos, with a circumference of 6.5 meters. The farmers have been growing giant pumpkins for the past 50 years.
I wonder what time they say, this thing's got a chance.
Yes.
You know, this has got a chance, I think.
Just when it peaks over the 2,800 kilo. Well, finally, a game to finish off our Friday.
Serious question. Would you rather have no AC in your car in the summer or no heater in your car in the winter? You can only pick one. Serious.
Well, I know what I would pick.
I know what I'm thinking.
I know what I would pick.
Yeah, no AC in the summer or no heat in the winter. I had to look this guy up because I'm like, dude, you do not live in a cold climate. He's from Oklahoma, so he doesn't even know how cold cold can be.
Yeah, you need the heat.
You need the heat.
Yeah.
Nobody in Alberta is choosing air conditioning. I don't think.
Roll down your window.
Yes, exactly. Breeze in your hair, you'll be fine. You cannot not have a heater. Well, equity markets tumbled today after the U.S. president threatened more tariffs. This time, Chinese imports are the target. Details on the threat of a 100% levy ahead in our business report.
Skywatch Weather Cam. What a stunning day. What a stunning work week. Hard to believe that when we crack 19 today, we're going to barely get to that freezing mark for Sunday and Monday. Yep, but, you know, we're prepared, so this is okay. We can handle it. 16 degrees is the temperature in the city right now as temperatures start to cool down for the day. It's still 20, though, in Brooks and Lethbridge, and it's 23 in Medicine Hat. Okay, radar and satellite, nothing going on for this evening, but you can see what's approaching, and this is a game changer for us. Upper level trough is going to really help bring in a much cooler air mass that we're going to notice. So Red Deer, we're going to kick off with rain Saturday afternoon. That will switch over to wet snow at night because you can see we're dipping to -4, and that will carry into early Sunday morning. Similar thing for Lake Louise, kicking off with some rain, but longer term snowfalls possible in the Lake Louise area. Drumheller, Lethbridge. Drumheller less likely to see any sort of moisture. If you get it at all, it'll be late Saturday night. And Lethbridge, it will be windy tomorrow, 60 kilometers per hour. And then we have, yes, snow on Saturday night in Lethbridge. And then for Banff, more consistent. Pincher Creek, more consistent. Basically off to the west, you are looking at snowfall Saturday night through much of Sunday, which is why there are snowfall warnings and statements in place for these areas. Whereas Medicine Hat, yeah, you know what? We're looking at warmer temperatures for tomorrow and less likely to see any snow. In Medicine Hat, if you get anything at all, it would be just for a little blip late Saturday night. For Calgary specifically, sunshine for the morning. By noon, the winds will switch out of the north. Temperatures will start to cool, and that rain will switch over to wet snow after 7 p.m., and that will carry into early Sunday morning. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free.
The province is offering extra support for families with special needs children as both sides in the teachers' strike prepare to resume bargaining on Tuesday. It comes as parents are trying to find learning options for kids who are stuck at home, like this education camp at TELUS Spark. Some Calgary condo boards are now banning short-term rentals to put an end to all the noise, traffic and damage to their buildings. Some condo owners say that move is forcing them to choose between renting long-term or even selling. And Prime Minister Mark Carney says he's not ruling out a new pipeline from Alberta to the BC coast. This comes as the federal government works toward its next batch of major projects. Danielle Smith says she expects a memorandum of understanding with the federal government to be finished by mid-November. A nationwide walkout by Canada Post workers will be replaced by rotating strikes starting tomorrow. The union representing striking postal workers says this will allow Canadians to get their mail while negotiators work toward collective agreements. Local branches will be told when it's their turn to rotate. Out of service, 55,000 postal workers have been on strike for 2 weeks when Ottawa said it would make changes to mail services. The local union president says rotating strikes will ease the financial burden on workers.
The corporation likes to tell everybody that they lose $10 million a day. Well, that's probably not that far off for postal workers, right? So the difference is it's an individual company or the 55,000 members of the union who are taking those losses.
Canada Post says it's waiting to hear back from the union on its latest offer from last Friday. The markets sank today on a post from the American president. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has the details.
Markets took a steep U-turn this morning after Donald Trump posted online about China. The post reignited fears of the trade war getting worse. Trump threatening to increase tariffs on China because Beijing is again tightening exports of critical minerals, which are crucial to both technology and defense firms. The North American market sank, with the tech-heavy NASDAQ losing more than 800 points. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar down to 71.43. West Texas Intermediate crude is down more than $2.50 to 58.48. Western Canadian Select is down over $1 to 50.36. And the TSX sank today, losing 419 points and dropping under 30,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
The Calgary Fire Department is teaming up with ATCO to install, test, and replace smoke and carbon monoxide alarms in several homes. This is the latest initiative for Fire Prevention Week. Chief Steve Dongworth was part of the group in the northeast community of Rundle today, going door to door, offering to install new alarms and talking to residents about fire safety. At this time of year, carbon monoxide calls increase, so monitoring for the poisonous, odorless gas was also addressed. She won an Olympic gold in cycling. Now she's hoping to do the same on the bobsleigh track in Italy this winter. Glenn has Kelsey Mitchell's story for us next. Oktoberfest celebrations officially kicked off today in Kitchener-Waterloo. That's Stephen Page, formerly of the Bare Naked Ladies, who helped tap the first keg. This is the 57th year the festival has been going on. It's the largest of its kind outside of Germany. Well, the schedule maker certainly didn't do the Calgary Flames any favors to start the season. Glenn is back with us. Glenn, the Flames opened the season with back-to-back games.
Tara, the Flames beat the Oilers in a shootout on Wednesday night, and then last night they were right back at it as they traveled to Vancouver to play the Canucks. And the Flames came out with a lot of energy in this game, but it's the Canucks who open up the scoring. Drew O'Connor over to Kiefer Sherwood. This is one Dustin Wolf would like to have back. Canucks with a 1-0 lead. Bad break for the Flames here. Philip Cheadle with the shot hits Kevin Ball in the back of the head, goes right back to Cheadle. He scores. Ball left the game and did not return. And this was the backbreaker. Flames, great chance to make it 2-1, but Matt Coronado fires it wide. Arshdeep Bains, he will get the loose puck ahead to Cheadle, and he goes in on the break, and he is going to beat Wolf with his second of the game. 3-0 for the Canucks at that point. Now the score 4-0. The Flames finally find a way to beat Thatcher Demko. Morgan Frost gets credit for his first of the season. Canucks would add one more, make the final 5-1 Vancouver. You could just tell the Flames kind of ran out of steam.
I thought we did a good job the first two periods, to be honest. You know, kind of not letting them just control the game, and then obviously it kind of ends like that. So it's a bad feeling right now after the game, but if you can take any positives, I thought we skated well for being on a back-to-back like that, and I think it deserved to be a closer game. We just, you know, couldn't bear down on our chances.
When you get a tough bounce like that, it makes it a little harder to, you know, but we were trying and pushing, just wasn't good enough. And as a group, I feel like we can find a way to be better on the forecheck and create more old zone time that way.
The Flames play their home opener tomorrow afternoon at the Scotiabank Saddledome against the St. Louis Blues. Puck drop for that game a little after 2 o'clock. Canadian bobsleigh team is at Whistler next week for selection camp. An Olympic gold medalist from another sport is hoping to earn a spot on the team. Kelsey Mitchell is used to going at high speeds on the cycling track. Now she's hoping to hit even higher speeds on the bobsleigh track. She's decided to take a break from the bike and concentrate on a new sport.
Been here training, and there just happened to be a bobsled tryout at the time that I was here, and I feel like 21-year-old me would be mad if I didn't take that opportunity, and so I went, and it was so much fun. I love the environment, the sport. Over what I experienced in the ice house was so fun, and so decided to go all in, and here I am today.
This isn't the first time Mitchell has tried out for the bobsleigh team. She tried it back in 2015 and 2017. Back then, she wasn't strong enough or powerful enough, but she is now.
Well, I think that came with age naturally, and then with cycling, obviously, I trained the lower body quite a bit. So my leg strength was there for a bobsled. I needed to actually work on the upper body a bit, and then learn the running mechanics, because I'd never actually done proper track sprinting, and so I keep cycling my legs. I've got a bad habit from cycling now, and so I'm trying to learn how to fire them more like pistons.
Mitchell won a gold medal in sprint cycling at the 2021 Summer Olympics in Tokyo. She'd love to add to that collection in Italy at the 2026 Winter Olympics.
Yeah, I've thought about this. I've thought about having the title of being a Summer Olympian and a Winter Olympian, which would obviously be incredible, and then to win a medal would be phenomenal. I'm just so excited to be back in a team sport.
Mitchell says this isn't the end of her cycling career. She fully intends on getting back in the saddle again.
My body just needed a break. My left leg wasn't cooperating, and I was doing absolutely everything I could to be the best I could be in Paris, and I obviously fell short of my goals. And so time away from the bike has helped me mentally, obviously, fall in love with sport again. And then I think when I go back and I return to Edmonton, where the new velodrome will be, it'll be a fresh start in a new environment, and I'll be ready to tackle LA 2028.
Mitchell will go down a bobsleigh track for the very first time next week in Whistler. She admits she's a little bit scared, but also excited. She's trying to make the team as a break woman.
Why be good at one sport when you can be good at two?
Why not,
right? She's
right?
amazing. Look at
Two-sport
her.
athlete.
Incredible.
Love her. Yeah.
Well, give us the goods for this weekend, Danielle.
Okay, so this is one of those days where even though you know it's coming, it still will surprise you. For example, let's just say you're going to a friend's house for a Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe on your way there, you're dealing with a couple showers on your drive there, for example. The temperature's still fairly mild, but then when you leave there, let's say at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and it's snowing, and you're dusting off the car, it's shocking, especially because we got to almost 20 degrees today in the city. So we'll hold on to warmer temperatures until about noon tomorrow. Then rain will kick in, cooler weather will start to kick in as well, and by after 7 p.m. is when it might transition over to wet snow. Might be a little later than that, but we'll get some wet snow in the city Saturday night through early Sunday morning, and we'll hold on to the cold temperatures Sunday and Monday, just highs of 0. And I thought this was so cute. Don Wool says, my small town an hour northeast of Calgary takes your weather forecast very seriously and prepares accordingly. I like that. The bright sunshine, but in the middle of the street, snow removal. Weather Window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate.
Thanks for your company. For breaking news anytime, go to our website.